Hi there. Anything biting?
As if. 20 years there's been fewer fish, but sometimes you can get lucky. Go figure. It's really odd.
You seem to know the region well. Maybe you can fill me in a bit. I'd like to know a little bit more about the local legend. I was told that there's a monster down there, living at the bottom of the lake.
It's not a legend.
And how can you be so sure?
Back when, the lake froze over earlier in the season. People would go out and make holes in the ice in the middle of the lake, then fish like that. Sometimes they would even set up these cabins for the winter next to the hole. The old folk always said you should only cut a small hole, just wide enough so the fish could be pulled through when you landed them. No more than that. One day, this guy who was kind of odd cut a really big hole. To make it easier, he said, in case he caught a really big one. You don't have to believe me, but he's the one who went into the hole. Backwards. Into the depths. In less time than it takes to say it, the monster's arm came through the hole, then dragged the poor guy down to the bottom of the lake. That's why the old folks say never make a big hole in the ice, because of the monster that lurks below.
And how do you know all that?
Because the poor guy was my older brother. And I was fishing just next to him that day. So you think what you want. You have a good day, miss.
Since the town hall closed the port, we sometimes get the impression we're living in a ghost town.
We're going to see the Nomad Souk. Apparently they have good prices.
Things are heating up for Mayor Bulyakin.
That big boat, the Crystal, it's been rotting at the dock for years.
Believe me, it's a really good thing that the nomads can't just come and go around Valsambor as they please anymore.
My squid is absolutely fresh, miss. Listen, miss, it's fresh.
Are you okay, sir? One more step and you were in the drink.
Ian, Oh.
Pardon?
It's me, Captain Obo. Obo! Proud commander of the just as proud crystal. So don't you, sir, me.
Well, delighted. Captain, I'm Kate Walker. I'm looking for Steiner's, the clockmaker.
If I fall in the water, sailor, it'll be to go straight to hell. So don't fall in the water, sailor. You understand? Bastard's waiting for me.
Who are you talking about?
The monster of the lake is waiting for us all, miss. Everyone's time comes eventually. To finish the work. Come on, back in the fight. Because you can never lower your guard. Never.
The crystal? Isn't that the boat that the drunk in the port was talking about earlier? The crystal? Isn't that the boat that the drunk in the port was talking about earlier? Nobody. Nobody. Hello? Anyone here? It looks like it needs repairs. Too bad. It looks like it needs repairs. Too bad. As deserted as the outside. Wow, what a lot of room. Wow, what a lot of room. Wow, what a lot of room. It's more and more like walking through a ghost ship. Nobody here either. Nobody here either. Nobody here either. Why is access to the boats blocked? Why is access to the boats blocked?
Lost your way, pretty girl?
Steiner. Hello. Are you Mr. Steiner? I'm sorry to bother you, Mr. Steiner. My name is Kate Walker, and I've come to pick up the prosthesis for Kirk, the Yukel spiritual guide.
And well, dear Miss Walker, Dr. Efimova has informed me that the young man was not yet in any sort of condition to withstand the operation, and that...
Mr. Steiner, are you all right?
It is impossible. That pendant you have around your neck. I would be very obliged if you would entrust me with it for a moment. Please, Miss Walker. Mein Gott! An XZ-2000 automaton heart in perfect working condition. A compensating spring memory. Pendulum ventricles and small mechanical pumps. Everything seems in excellent condition. Donnerwetter! Where on earth did you steal this, Miss Walker?
I did not steal it. It's a souvenir. It's all I have left of Oscar, a very dear friend.
Ah, so. And yet I am actually very familiar with this type of precision mechanism. An infernal precision. Incredible, unique expertise. For this was a Vorarlberg automaton, Miss Walker.
Yes. It was Hans Vorarlberg who designed this object. Tell me, did you know him?
Oh, yeah. He even lived here a few years. We did a lot of work together. He taught me so many different things, you know. So it is useless to try and make up silly stories, Miss Walker. And I am afraid that I am not about to allow you to leave here as long as you have not told me the truth about where this object comes from.
Oh, don't bother locking me in, Mr. Steiner. If you must know, the truth is that Hans Vorarlberg was someone who was very important to me. I accompanied him on a very strange journey throughout Europe. And that object in your hand is the only souvenir I have of that adventure.
That proves nothing, Himmelherrgott! Hans would never have given this to...
Mr. Steiner, are you all right?
My heart... need... my medication... Quickly!
Just don't move. I'll go and get your medication right away. No medication in sight. Empty.
Make yourself right at home. Don't mind me. I just own the place.
A prototype for the clinic aviary? Who would store medication in this mess? Who would store medication in this mess? Kirk's prosthesis, but it looks like it isn't finished. A woman's writing saying, "Grandfather, don't forget to take your medication 3 hours before dinner." Fantastic! Fantastic. Who would store medication in this mess? Still nothing. Who would store medication in this mess? All that clattering must get really tiring after a while. A woman's writing saying, "Grandfather, don't forget to take your medication 3 hours before dinner."
饭前3小时。
All that clattering must get really tiring after a while.
几点吃？
Thank you for your precious help, my dearest Miss Walker. I'm afraid I may have judged you somewhat hastily.
Don't mention it, Mr. Steiner. Tell me about the prosthesis. I need to take it back to Kirk very quickly, if, of course, you agree to let me have it.
Yeah. I just have a few small adjustments to make. It involves very precise and meticulous mechanics, understand?
Will it take long? I'm sorry to insist, but I also have to give a hand to those unfortunate Yukels. I need to help them get across the lake with their herd of ostriches. I'm so worried about them.
Once the mechanical leg is at last ready, I can go to the clinic and bring back young Kirk to you. That way you only have to worry about what happens to the other Yukels.
That's so nice of you, Mr. Steiner. But why are you doing this?
I wasn't extremely nice to you earlier. And also, the way the Yukels are treated by the other townsfolk here, in my own town, disgusts me. So I want to help those poor devils, even if I am in no way absolutely certain they should be crossing the lake.
What on earth's the matter, Mr. Steiner?
The next stage of your journey is the poor, cursed town of Baranor. It has become hell on earth since the time of the last great ostrich migration. Please join me downstairs for a moment, Miss Walker. I'll show you exactly what I mean. Look just next to the films there, Miss Walker. You should find a film on Baranor. When you found the old film reel, run it through the spool on the projector.
Baranor, the cursed city. Baranor, the martyred town. Baranor has been nothing but a field of ruins and desolation since a week after the explosion of reactor number 3 in the nuclear power plant. Baltimore is on the other side of the lake, sheltered from the prevailing winds, and fortunately it seems to have been spared from the deadly radioactive clouds. Our town was mobilized to go to the aid of our neighbors. Although our town's means were modest when compared to such a catastrophe, there were nonetheless among us some brilliant mechanical engineers. In record time, they developed a small army of automatons capable of helping the affected people. Those men and dogs of steel could go where a human could no longer set foot without becoming seriously ill. Over there, they could be excavators, rescue workers, and treasure bearers.
Oscar, they all look like him.
Truly magnificent pieces, nicht wahr? The XZ-2000 model is most assuredly one of Hans's major masterpieces.
Their mission was to bring back any survivors of the catastrophe to Baltimore, where the victims would receive the best care in Dr. Zemiatine's clinic. The Crystal, the ferry usually responsible for linking the towns of Baltimore and Baranor every day, carried the new type of rescuers to the scene of the drama, and brought back the survivors of the catastrophe.
So Baranor suffered the ravages of a nuclear accident. But according to that film, the automatons you designed with Hans should have helped save lots of lives, right?
I'm afraid that's not how things went. Because of Captain Obo, who... Ah, that must be Sarah. Please come this way, Miss Walker. I'll introduce you. Miss Walker, may I introduce you to Sarah, my granddaughter?
Nice to meet you, Sarah. My name's Kate Walker.
I actually owe Miss Walker a candle. Thanks to her calmness and peace of mind, I'm still here and on my feet. She found my medication and gave it to me before it was too late. Donnerwetter.
You don't mean you had another attack, do you? Ah, you're being so very naughty, Grandfather. You absolutely must let Dr. Zemiatine examine you.
Come on, stay calm, my little child. When I go to the clinic to take the prosthesis to the young Yukol, I'll stop by and see the good doctor. Until then, why don't you make yourself really useful to Miss Walker? She's looking for some way to transport the Yukol caravan to the other side of the lake.
Well, I think I've already found the solution. The boat in the film, the Crystal, it must be the ship that's docked in the port. If it was able to transport the automatons you and Hans built, it could carry the ostriches across the lake.
Ah, that's not a bad idea. But unfortunately, there's a slight problem of size, dear Miss Walker.
What on earth do you mean?
Obo became a poor wreck when he simply abandoned our automatons in Baranor. The coward now drowns his sorrows in vodka. He's convinced that he fled because of the monster in the lake. Heh! Apparently, the imbecile saw the monster, Himmelgott. So he went back on his tracks, abandoning all the automatons in Baranor, as well as the people they were there to rescue.
Grandfather, I know you're still really angry with Captain Obo because he abandoned the automatons that you built with your friend Hans in Baranor. He was supposed to wait for them. They were going to take all the survivors they found in the rubble to the boat and then bring everyone here to safety in Valsambor. But in the end, when he got to the beach at Baranor and saw the disaster and all the dead, he became really afraid. The disease, the radiation, he must have had an uncontrollable panic attack, so he immediately turned back, dumped the machines on the crystal into the lake, and came back empty-handed to Valsambor. And the automatons have been there ever since, in hell. But who knows? Maybe today he'll want to sell. I'm sure Kate will be capable of convincing him to help the Ukels. I have to go do my waitressing shift in the tavern. Come by and see me later on, okay? Captain Obo will be there.
All right, then. I'll try and convince Captain Obo. Thank you for everything, Mr. Steiner.
I don't know if I really should wish you good luck, dear Miss Walker. Baranor is only an open grave now.
Impossible, I don't believe it. He forgot to leave it open again. I don't like that new waitress working in the tavern at all.
It's kicking off near the town hall.
When they shut the funicular down this morning, it created chaos.
No Ukels in Valsambor! The shopkeepers can't take more! The shopkeepers are on strike!
There have been 10 thefts from my shop since those savages showed up! Mr. Mayor, who's gonna pay?
Excuse me. What's happening here?
Isn't it obvious? We're demonstrating against having the Ukel nomads parked on our doorsteps.
But what for?
Since they came to Valsambor, there's been no end to the shoplifting and vandalism, and on top of that, their souk is taking our customers. Mayor Bulyakin has to do something, and fast. We're not leaving until he receives our delegation.
But why won't the mayor talk to you?
Because he's a schmuck. He wants the nomads to continue their migration as much as us, but he's too afraid of annoying his higher-ups. And while he's gaining time by playing both sides of the board, we're watching our sales go through the floor.
The authorities are asking the mayor to prevent the migration from continuing? They want the Ukels to stay blocked in Valsambor?
That's what people are saying, but if you want my opinion, the only thing the mayor is waiting for is someone to get rid of those savages without him having to get his hands dirty.
The shopkeepers are on strike for the first time in ages. That's not good business for anyone, if you want my opinion.
Everyone's been surly the last few months.
Looking for cigars or some hooch? I'm even cheaper than the nomads.
The way they treat the nomads around here is terrible.
I don't have any coins. Too bad.
I'd rather be left here on my own if you don't mind, miss.
Go speak with young Sarah. She could help you.
I hope you find the tavern agreeable, miss.
All those youngsters trying to act smart to impress the Steiner girl. It really gets to me.
We're pretty lucky with all we've been through. At least we've still got places like this.
Captain Obo?
What do you want?
May I sit down for a second?
Go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry to impose, but I actually really...
You know, you kind of remind me of someone. The wife of the quartermaster that served on board the Crystal after the war. Do you realize he got married to the first cousin of the wife of a machinist?
Oh, okay. That's all really interesting, but what I wanted to ask...
That's a really great story, really. Because did you know? So there. So the guy answers, I don't know nothing, Captain. Turns out he was hiding in the broom closet. Hilarious. Irina, the wife of the quartermaster, her name was Irina Malevna. Crazy how much you look like her.
Oh, gee, it's getting late. I have to go. You can finish telling me the story another time, Captain Obo.
The lake is haunted by a demon. It's watching me. Waiting. I can feel it.
Is everything okay, Kate?
Not really. I'd like to ask Captain Obo if the Yukon caravan can go on board his boat to cross over to Baranor. But I can't get a straight answer. He's completely sloshed.
I'm sorry, miss, but I really think you're wasting your time. He's getting drunk again to forget his crimes, like he always does. To forget he wasn't brave the way a captain should be. Can you believe it? In Baranor, he just picked up and abandoned his passengers. And I know, he'll never want to see that cursed place again.
I'm not sure that's true, lad. Even if he does drink a lot, the captain's a pretty good guy. Say the right thing, and you may be able to convince him.
If I'm ever lucky enough to find him sober, even for a moment, I need that drunkard to listen to me.
Maybe I can help you with that. I'll make him one of my famous small restoratives. After that, he'll want to sleep for 3 days, but at least his mind will be clear.
I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much, both of you.
Don't mention it. The way the Yukols are treated here is an absolute disgrace, so if we can help out...
Has Captain Obo taken the crystal out of port since leaving Baranor?
He's been far too drunk ever since then for that.
And anyway, the port's been closed since the tragedy of Baranor 20 years ago.
Do you think the crystal is still in sailing condition after all this time?
I'm sure there'll be a few repairs to do, but Obo never stopped keeping it in shape, you know. He loves his boat, despite everything.
Do you know why Captain Obo fled Baranor?
He must have been completely traumatized by what he saw there. The catastrophe, the victims, and then the radiation. He unloaded the automatons on the beach, but he didn't expect they'd bring the survivors back right then. He just cracked, completely snapped. Full astern and goodbye all. Can you even imagine?
Afterwards, he came up with that story of a sea monster appearing and attacking his boat.
Yes, the old legend of the monster of the lake. Convenient, isn't it?
Who knows what became of the victims and automatons the captain abandoned?
No, everybody hates the captain for that. But nobody volunteered to take the helm of the crystal in his place to pick up the survivors. If there are any left in Baranor, they're all dead now, that's for sure.
Grandfather says that the automatons would have broken down really quickly with nobody to maintain them.
Go see the captain. Sarah will bring you the restorative when it's ready.
Take this, Captain. This one's on the house.
My God! This pisswater unbattens the hatches, swamps the deck, and opens the portholes. Hello, miss.
My name is Kate Walker, Captain Obo. We met each other earlier.
To what do I owe the honor of your presence at the table of the regrettably famous Captain Obo?
This is good news, Captain. You're back at the starting block again. You have a new beginning, a new dawn.
Now that's a good show of spirit, Miss Walker. What'll you be having now? It's my round.
What I'd like you to do is to help me, Captain. I could even say you're the man of the hour.
What do you mean by that, young lady?
The Yukon caravan has to cross the lake now. It absolutely must continue on its migration, do you understand? So I thought that maybe they could board the crystal. That way you could take everybody there to the other side, Captain. I know you don't have fond memories of your last crossing, of your departure from Baranor, but...
Why the hell are you bothering me if everybody has already warned you about horrible Captain Obo? The gutless wonder.
It's true, people are quick to judge. But they're not the ones who went to Baranor like you did. They can't teach you anything about being brave.
Maybe. So tell me, where do you actually want to go then, miss?
To Baranor.
I'm a broken man because of what I saw back there that night, miss. A sad wreck of a man, really. You're asking me to go back. Back there. Back to hell. I saw the hellish red eyes of the monster of the lake. Beast as big and long as my boat. Ask your Yukon friends what they think about it. They call it the Kilak, the evil spirit of the lake. The devil guarding the doorway to hell.
Well, let's just look at it like a second chance. What do you say?
No. Never.
In that case, I'll buy the crystal.
What makes you think she's up for sale?
You've left her in the port to rot. She's completely run down. You haven't the money to keep her shipshape. I have money, and I need that ferry.
She's a ferry, not a liner. The girl wants to take the helm of the Crystal. Now I've heard everything.
I know that if the Proud Crystal had an equally proud commander at her helm, things would go better. But as you don't want to go on a voyage...
All right. You can get your gang of little savages and board the Crystal. I'll take you.
Oh, thank you, Captain, really, with all my heart. And thank you on behalf of the Yukels.
Oh, but be careful now, Captain Girl. You're not there yet. There are 2 conditions, and they aren't negotiable. First, we stop by Nahodas. It's a little town just a bit south of Baranor. That will mean we avoid the most radioactive zones, but it won't actually take you too far off your path. And second, we also sail by day. I'm not going to finish up on the lake monster's plate. And it sleeps during the day. The beast is usually a bit of a night owl anyway.
I accept, Captain Obo.
In that case, all hands on deck now, sailor, because we've got work to do before we can hoist the anchor.
Come on, Kate. You hurry off and meet with the captain before he changes his mind. I'll go tell Grandfather to join you on board the Crystal with Kirk.
Thank you, Sarah. All right, Captain. How are the preparations going?
There's quite a bit of work to do before we can hoist the anchor, Miss Kate.
Maybe I can help you out with something.
Well, the coal needs to be stocked up. As for myself, I'll look after getting the water tanks ready to be filled. Take this. It's the code you need for entering the hangar where the coal is kept. You actually need it to use the crane to load the coal onto the Crystal. Don't forget to open the storage hatchway first.
How do I open the hatchway to the coal storage on the Crystal?
Just turn the wheel on the ship's bridge, sailor.
What do I need to do in the hangar?
That's where you'll find all the coal you need for the Crystal. One container should just about be enough. And don't forget to use the entry code for the crane that I just gave you.
What do I need the crane for?
This here is for loading all the coal you get from the hangar onto the ship. Use the code I gave you so that you can access the control post.
I'll take care of that, Captain.
We need to set sail as soon as possible, so better hurry up.
It's stuck. Come on. Oh, gosh. Let's try something else. No point wasting the coal by emptying it here. No point wasting the coal by emptying it here. No point wasting the coal by emptying it here. No point wasting the coal by emptying it here. First, I need to open the tank on the bridge of the crystal.
Apparently, you did a very good job loading all the coal, Kate. Right. Everything's ready, so we can start filling the water tank. Now we need to connect the water tower to the crystal, then climb up there to manually activate the water flow mechanism.
Let me guess, you're counting on me?
When you're finished, come and see me on board. There's still a lot to do before we're shipshape.
The captain said, first, connect the water intake on the bridge of the crystal. I took care of the water, Captain. Everything went smoothly. Is everything okay?
No. The ignition key for the crystal. I can't find it anywhere. Without it, we can't even start.
Come on, just relax. The key has to be around here somewhere.
Good Lord. Now I remember. 20 years ago, when I got back from Baranor without the automatons, everybody was really very hard on me, you know.
Captain, I don't really see what you...
So I spent the whole night in the tavern. You should have seen the state I was in when I got back to the Bridge of the Crystal, and... And then I threw the crystal's ignition key into the water. I swore I'd never set sail on the cursed waters of the lake again.
I saw a model of the crystal at Simon Steiner's. Is he the one who designed the ship?
Yes, of course.
Maybe he could be of some help then.
Maybe. Who knows?
So that's it? The ignition key is lost forever?
Yeah. I'm afraid so. I'm really sorry, Kate, but we're stuck. I've made a complete mess of everything again. Again.
There has to be a duplicate for the key.
I don't know. At any rate, when Steiner finished building the crystal, he only actually gave me the one.
Don't be so hard on yourself, Captain. I'll find a solution to the key problem.
If you say so.
Kate, how are the preparations with the captain coming along?
We're making progress, but actually we need some help from your grandfather. Is he here?
He just left for the clinic with the artificial leg he made for the Yuko guide, Kirk. I'm minding the shop until he gets back. Maybe I can help you with something?
It seems the captain has misplaced the ignition key for the crystal, and without it we won't be able to leave. So as it was your grandfather who designed the crystal, I figured he just might have a duplicate.
I have to admit, I don't see where you could get one of those. Apart from the model downstairs, I don't think he kept a lot of souvenirs of the time when he built the crystal.
Would you mind if I had a look?
Of course not. Here, take this. It'll let you look at the model close up.
Fantastic!
98天60米长。90、60、80、30。
Fantastic! An ignition key. But it looks far too small for the crystal. Impossible. The duplication worked, but I get the impression it's not the right size. The duplication worked, but I get the impression it's not the right size.
Don't worry. As soon as Grandfather gets back here with Kirk, I'll tell them to join you straight away on the crystal.
Fantastic, Kate. I have to admit, you really know how to get things done.
Thank you, Captain. Are there any other preparations to carry out?
There's just one last problem to solve. The locks we need to use to get out onto the lake. They're shut by order of the town hall. You have to find some way to get them open.
What do you suggest?
The best thing to do is to ask Mayor Bulyakin for the authorization to reopen them. But just to give you fair warning, he's about as straight as a crooked waterspout, so you mind him. Or you could just get a hold of some explosives and then kaboom!
First, I'll try talking to the mayor. Thanks, Captain.